Lots of industries have their own unique superstitions, and theater is no different. There's much debate about the origins of a lot of the theater-specific ones, and I'm only going to give you one possible beginning, but the two most common superstitions in theater are what I want to talk about briefly here. The first is great because it's secretly functional. For a few hundred years or so, it's been considered bad luck to whistle on stage. And this one's still taken seriously a bit today. If you've ever been watching a show and a piece of scenery suddenly flew up and away, or was lowered into the space, like the Grand Curtain rising at the start of the show, etc., these are all the function of what we call the fly system, a system that's barely changed at all since its invention, besides maybe some new materials being used. The system's based on old sailing ships, pin rails, that sort of thing, and tended to be operated by those who were the most trained to run them, sailors. Those sailors communicated the time to move the ropes, when to fly in scenery, by whistling. So why is it bad luck to whistle in the theater? Because the sailor holding the rope, precariously keeping the heavy object in the air over your head, may drop it on you because your whistle told him to. Getting mashed by a piece of falling scenery is pretty bad luck. And it's continued despite having many more modern ways to tell the fly operator that it's time to move the rope. The other superstition that's fascinating in a lot of ways is the notion of the Scottish play. This one's unique because the great majority of people in theater either fully believe it or believe it enough to not tempt fate. The Scottish play refers to Shakespeare's play Macbeth. This play should never be named on a stage in a theater that is not currently performing the show. So instead, if you have to reference it, you just say the Scottish play. How is this superstition so prevalent and so strongly adhered to? Well, there's actually a long list of catastrophes that people attribute to it. And if you talk to enough industry folks long enough, usually it's not hard to run into somebody who had a terrible event take place after someone named Macbeth on their stage. Some people believe the original production itself is cursed by actual witches because Shakespeare's inclusion of them in the story. So I guess, is it just a superstition? Maybe just enough things go wrong in theater normally that it's easy to connect an accident to someone naming the show. Or maybe there's some truth to it. Who knows? But most theater workers won't chance it, whether they believe it or not.